welcome to tonight's Roundtable. I'm Kate Burnham, the Superintendent of Schools, and today we're going to talk about the NEASC Accreditation visit, and my guests today are two teachers from the high school who are chairing the preparation work for this visit, Lynn Radford and Bob Hill. Welcome, and thank you both for joining me today to talk about this very important visit coming up.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So for our viewing audience, how about we start with what is NEASC and why is this visit important?
Sure. So NEASC stands for the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, and they visit, they look into what high schools and colleges have been doing throughout the area. They're not part of DESE, it's not a state organization, and they work with us to give us feedback on what we've been doing and give us suggestions on what we can do next, and it's part of a 10-year cycle.
Great. So every 10 years we go through this process. What all is entailed within that 10-year window? What happens?
Sure. So they were last here on a formal visit 2010, and then we checked in with them, the small report in 2015, and then in 2018 we wrote a more elaborate and formal report that entailed many hours of meetings with the staff, superintendent, principal, and all the key players, including students. We submitted a report in 2018, and they gave us some feedback, and they offered us several suggestions on things we should be working on, and we've since been responding to that.
Right.
And so then starting on March 9th, they're coming back around again for the final visit.
The final visit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so they gave you some areas to work on. What were those areas?
Sure. So there are 5 specific things that we've been focused on. And just so folks understand, NEASC really encourages self-reflection. So they came to us and they said, what are the things that you folks feel you should work on? And then they came and they looked and said, okay, well, I think we agree with these things, and these are things that you could do better. So I think that's really important to understand, that they're not coming in top down and telling us what to do. They're asking us to look at ourselves and say, what are you doing well, and where can you work on things some more? So there were things like curriculum maps. While we have curriculum maps for many of our classes, there are still some that needed to be updated. We also have been working on professional development, both small scale and large scale, both within individual teachers and also district-wide professional development. Looking at encouraging high school students to become more involved with civic and community engagement. Also looking for students to be given more opportunities to direct their own learning. And then finally, something that we've worked really hard on, and that's developing a complete crisis team, including ALICE drills and things like that.
Right. Right. Been a lot of work going on.
Yes,
It's been a lot of work, yeah, absolutely.
All good things to be working on, too.
Yeah, without a doubt, and we've had a lot of support from top to bottom across the board, including the students and everybody involved. It's been a very positive thing.
Yeah, and I would also mention that, you know, for many of these areas that we've been working, we've had support from, let's say, our public safety department.
Oh yeah,
Right.
sure.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yep.
Working with us on some of these things. Regionally, we've been taking
Yeah, exactly.
more
The
advantage
professional
of some
development,
professional
sure.
development
Yep.
and collaboration there. So lots of good work. And the community service piece, too, a new push
Exactly.
from the state. But even before that, I think there was a commitment here in town to be
Sure.
focused in that area.
Yeah, I think so too, definitely. And some of the programs that our kids have been involved in, you know, for many, many years are very community-oriented. So
Right.
we're mentioning a lot of that in the report as well.
Yeah, it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So can you give us an overview of the work that everyone at the high school has been doing in preparation for this upcoming visit?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been working a lot on addressing some of the specific things that Bob just mentioned, curriculum map work, which is just literally a map of the curriculum for each course that we offer. And we develop a lot of electives, and courses come and go. So that's been difficult in the past to kind of stay on top of that, but we're pretty solid with what we have now, and we're working on curriculum for the new courses that we're offering this year. The crisis team resource materials have been put together. The admin team did that very successfully, and I think there's even a manual of procedures and things that the school is involved in to deal with a variety of situations. And then our PD committee that was established that's working on a lot of those opportunities that you mentioned for both in and out of district offerings. So staff specifically this year have been working on, in addition to the maps, we're working on looking at student work and putting together some student work samples that reflect everything that we do over the school, all of our curricular areas, including all of our special area classes, and how special education and guidance also support us in those areas. And a lot of that work will be displayed and explained and walked through with the visiting team by students. So teachers are trying to facilitate and organize all of that. And then one of the bigger things that we have worked on collectively as a staff is the establishment of our graduate profile. And this is a relatively new language from NEASC. So we have a vision of the graduate, which is what Lunenburg High School expects our graduates to embody when they graduate. And these are things that are part of all classes that we have collectively at the high school, but they sort of transcend just academics. So it's a way of saying our students will be excellent critical thinkers, they'll be literate in a variety of areas, they'll be responsible members of their community. And there are 7 different facets of that that we have put together based on our school vision and our beliefs about learning at Lunenburg High School. And then from that, we're looking at rubrics and ways for students and teachers to see how well we're doing with establishing those goals for our students. And so the hope down the line, and not just from March, but this is something that's going to take us well into the future, is being able to say, you know, these are the 7 things that all of our students, you know, are getting out of our school. And for students to graduate and go to college or university or the military or a career and say, you know, I'm a really good collaborator, or I'm a very good independent thinker, I work really well on projects alone, I've done community service, and they can say those things because that's really been the message that they've gotten throughout their whole high school career.
Which is great.
Yes, and that's one of the foundational things I think that NEASC is pushing for us to establish with kids, is that we have academic education, but we also have lots of other things that we're teaching in schools.
Right, because we're preparing students for post-secondary, and that looks different.
Right.
Because it's not college for everybody.
Exactly, exactly. And even if it is, that's continually changing as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So what can we expect to see during the visit?
So the visiting team will have 6 members, and they will be meeting with all of the stakeholders in our school. So they'll be starting off, as you know, talking with you and with members of the school committee. And then they're going to spend time observing classes, meeting with students, looking at work, meeting with administrative team members, meeting with department heads, and observing our classes and seeing what we do in our classes. So it's a 4-day visit, and they'll just be kind of popping in and out of the building. It's March 8th to the 11th, so they do show up on Sunday to meet with the school committee, and then the rest of us will be with them Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And then a large part of their time with us is also spent writing their report. So they give us preliminary feedback that's instant feedback based on what they're seeing, and then we do get a formal report later on.
So how long will it take to get that formal report?
Yeah, so usually what will happen on Wednesday afternoon is the team will gather with the entire staff and have a brief synopsis of what they found, and you know, as you would imagine, they will offer up some positive things and maybe some suggestions, and that'll give us a little taste of it, and then they'll continue to formalize the report, but we should hear something most likely in April, certainly by the end of the school year.
And I think, too, it's interesting to note for people that are not familiar with the process that the team that visits is comprised of other current educator.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure. I should have
right?
mentioned that at the beginning there. It's being chaired by a superintendent from Western Mass, and there's an assistant superintendent and a principal and several teachers.
Teachers.
And of course, we've had teachers from our school go out on visits with other NEASC groups in the past, too.
Right.
Yeah. So
So-
it's sort of a consortium where we do a little, they do a little,
It's a
everybody
little bit
works
of a peer review.
Yep.
It is a peer
Without a
review.
doubt,
It's very much a peer review.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they bill it on the website for NEASC, actually.
Yeah.
Is and it's not punitive. It's very much made to reflect with each other as peers, and also to give us self-reflection topics, and we're all kind of speaking the same language because these are actual teachers and superintendents
Right.
and administrators.
And it's a great learning opportunity when you are part of a visiting team, right?
Right,
Sure.
absolutely.
Certainly you go in and
I'm sure.
there must be takeaways
Yep.
Yeah.
for pretty much everybody that they can bring back to their own
Yeah, I
district
mean,
as
anytime you
ideas.
can see another school district
Yeah.
and how they operate, because you've been
Absolutely.
if you've been in one district for a long time, like
Yeah.
some of us have, you kind of think it's like this everywhere, but
Right.
it's good to get input from other people from other places.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no doubt.
definitely.
So because this is a cyclical endeavor, what happens next after we get the formal report?
So we do a lot of reflection. So the report comes out, and NEASC actually mandates that we post it publicly, so everybody will be able to view the report. It'll be linked on the district website. So anybody that wants to read the entire thing is welcome to do that. Hundreds of pages of it, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's a very riveting read.
I'm sure that it is, yes. And it's very detailed, which is great for us, actually, because the more detailed it is, the better the feedback is for
Yeah.
us. And then we move forward with a lot of the same goals that we're setting right now. Working with our graduate profile and putting that into place will be key. It's been really important for us as a school to make sure that everything that we're doing to address our goals isn't just being done for the visit. It's not just being done for, silly reasons, but we're really incorporating this into the values of our school. This is what we believe we want to offer for students.
Right.
We're not just jumping through hoops for a report.
Yeah.
So these are really important things for our school community that we'll be working on. I'm sure NEASC will come back at us with constructive feedback. So they'll
Sure.
say, we love these several things that you've done. These are the areas that we now want you to address. And so we'll incorporate that into kind of the overall body of what we're doing as a staff.
That's great.
Yeah.
I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the commitment that it takes from the staff to engage in this kind of work, right? I mean, it is really work.
Yeah.
It absolutely is.
And above and beyond that, for the two of you to have taken on the role of chairing this work, there's an extra level of work that falls to the two of you. So on behalf of the district and the community, thank you both very much, and the entire staff, for all the work that goes into what you do day in and day out, but what you do in order to focus on how we can continue to improve what we do to benefit the kids that we serve. Thank you.
Yeah.
If folks wanted to learn anything more about NEASC in general, or follow with what's going
Sure.
on with us specifically, what would you recommend for them?
So NEASC has a website, which is cps.neasc.org, and you can visit there and sift through the public education, public school components of that to see what the process is. And then as we are getting feedback from NEASC, we'll be putting stuff up on the district school website as well.
Yeah.
Great.
And, we're always available to chat if somebody has
Absolutely.
anything they'd like to hear about NEASC.
Yeah,
Yep. Always available.
always
Yeah.
available.
That's right.
Email's
Email
a great
anytime.
thing. Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Well, thank you both for spending some time with me today so that we can make the community aware of this upcoming visit and all the hard work that's going on
All right,
at
good
the
to
high
be
school.
here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for tuning in to watch, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.